if you're in sales, I want to give you 6 steps that can help you, especially if you're new. This is also a good reminder for you to be able to teach your people. Coming from a job and then getting involved in sales, I had to learn a few different mentalities. So these are 6 different things that I learned along the way that have helped me, and I hope they can help you. Point number 1, expect people to be skeptical. We're all skeptical. Somebody's called us at one point, wanted to tell us something, share something. We're just, hey, I don't know, especially if you'd had a bad experience before. And so I get involved in sales, and now I'm starting to talk to people about, hey, life insurance, retirement. Hey, this is a great opportunity. You can make a lot of money. And people are skeptical by nature. And I didn't like that. It didn't feel good. And I realized that I had to separate myself from the outcome. And you hear that anybody you talk to that's in sales, they'll say, hey, you know what? It's not you that they're saying no to. Separate yourself from the outcome. It's a part of the process. But sometimes you just got to keep getting punched over and over and over to where it stops hurting, or you got to keep punching until you stop feeling the pain. And that was a process that I went through, and I eventually understood, like, George, you were skeptical in the beginning. Don't be upset because people are skeptical. Just follow up, be more professional, make more calls, connect with people, develop better relationships, learn how to ask questions, learn how to give information faster, learn how to give the right information, learn how to read people, like, get better and overcome that skepticism. Point number 2, you're going to get a lot of no's. And no's are very personal when you get involved in sales, meaning you take it personal. You've been told, no, we can't do that. No, you can't have this. No, we don't like hearing that word. It sucks hearing no. And that's why a lot of people say, I don't like sales. What they really mean is I don't like being rejected. And so there's different ways of dealing with this. One of them is to understand that they're not rejecting you, they're rejecting the offer. And you could tell somebody logically they could understand that, but emotionally it has to get out of their system. And how do you do that again? You keep punching the punching bag until you don't feel the pain anymore. Playing soccer, right? I was in defense, and you'd get kicked in the shin. And it didn't matter if you had a shin guard or not. It would hurt. Eventually, those nerves go away, and it's just part of the process. So I had to go through that. I had to reframe no in my mind. You know what, man, this person really doesn't know me. I'm a good person. I mean well. I have good intentions. I'm a good human being. I'm a good son. I'm a good person. Man, they just don't know. So I had to reaffirm who I was. I had to reaffirm my intention. Man, I'm just trying to help this person. If they don't want it, that's okay. That doesn't say anything about the value of what I have to offer doesn't go down because the person doesn't want it. Then I would remind myself that the reason that person's probably struggling financially is because they say the word no, not to be affected by that. And I started changing what no meant. I got a lot of no's. I got a ton of no's. We would make calls together in the office, and we'd hear all the guys getting no's. And eventually we started laughing about the process of getting no's. Or we'd go out there and we'd start marketing in the community. And a lot of people, you get no, and you're like, dude, that guy didn't even talk to you, bro. And, as long as you're with somebody else, you blow it off. Sometimes by yourself, you're like, man, I'm a freaking idiot. I look so stupid. But you know what? I respect the person going out there that says, I have a dream and I'm going to do something about it. Keep encouraging yourself and don't let no's stop you. Understand, in baseball, right? 10 pitches, you hit 3, you're killing it, right? You hit 1 home run out of the 10, you're killing it. That's the same thing in sales. You're going to get that 10, 3, 1. Maybe your ratios are different, but the concept of it, that you can miss 70% of the time and you're still a extremely successful baseball player. You can miss 70% of the time in sales and you can still be extremely successful financially doing this. Number 3. Okay, fortune is in the follow-up. We want things now, especially if you're doing this and this is all you have to live off of. This is why in our company we tell people don't go full-time until you're ready for it, okay? Because you could really hurt yourself, your family, if you go full-time too soon. If you're out there and you're already in sales, right, then it's just the reality of it. Now, like, you have to make it work. And so when I got into the business, and I needed income today, I really wanted to get a result right then and there. And they would say, fortune's in the follow-up. And I'm like, man, I got to close today. I got to make this happen today. I got to get it direct. I got to write business. I got to make this happen. And I realized that, hey, George, you're in this problem because you didn't plant enough seeds. You didn't water those seeds 30 days ago, 60 days ago, 90 days ago. So what it started teaching me was to forecast better. When you're at a job, you just show up, you do the job. But somebody else had to do that thinking of where they're going to be by quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4. What's our plan? What's our incentives? What are we offering? Right? In restaurants, I worked at a seafood restaurant, and it was, hey, endless shrimp special. I worked at Olive Garden, endless pasta, unlimited pasta, right? They would do these incentives. Somebody had to think about getting those people in the door. Somebody had to think about a Mother's Day special, an Easter Sunday brunch. Somebody had to think about that. So I wasn't used to thinking that. I show up, I go to work. And then I get involved in the business and I realize, I have to kind of start thinking a few months out, because the business I write today won't get issued and approved for the next 7 days, 2 days, maybe 3 weeks, maybe a month, maybe 6 weeks. So I really got to write more business. I got to work harder. I got to be consistent. And you normally experience when you're brand new to sales that you have a really good month, and then you over celebrate and you stop doing the things that you did to get there. Then you have a bad month and you realize that inconsistency was also eventually caused from your inconsistent performance, your inconsistent behavior, your inconsistent habits. And so I had to start being more consistent and thinking long term. So that comment of fortune is in the follow-up really helped me, because I said, man, I'm going to keep following up with people, keep dripping on people, keep calling people, keep building relationships, and eventually things are going to work out. One of my best stories on follow-up is that, and this ties into point number 4, which is it takes 4 to 6 contacts on normally 4 to 6 contacts for that to convert, maybe become a client, come down, see what you're doing, and so forth. One of the best stories on this was a gentleman that I met through a partner, one of my business partners. And she says, hey, George, you got to meet this girl. So I meet the girl, and she's like, you really got to meet this guy. And so I call this guy every 3 months for 3 years. Every 3 months for 3 years. How you doing? First, who's this? What is this about? Hey, hi, my name is such and such. Do you keep your options open? No, not a problem. Is it okay if I check back in 90 days just to see if anything changed? Yeah, sure. He's not expecting me to give him a call. 90 days later, I call back. Hey, how are you? We spoke 90 days ago. Who's this? What's this about again? Hey, no worries. Last time we spoke, I asked you that. No, not really, not right now, but thanks for the call. All good, man. Hope everything's well. Is it okay to check back in the future? Sure. By the 3rd call, hey, you know what? Now's not really a good time, George. Thanks for following up, man. I'm doing this with my daughter. On the 4th call, this is 1 year later now. Hey, man, how's your daughter? The last time we spoke, this was going on. How is she doing? How you doing? Boom, relationship established. From there was me calling and checking on a friend every 3 months, and we catch up 1, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. How's this going? Eventually, that person became a client. Eventually, that person became an agent, and eventually, that person led to the largest agency that we have inside of our organization. And so the fortune is in the follow-up. Every 3 months for 3 years, I called this person, and we were blessed because of that. So that's part of the process, guys, on multiple contacts before maybe somebody says yes. Let me give you point number 5. Don't give up. I can't tell you how many times I wanted to quit, where I'd be driving on the freeway and I'm like, God, if this person doesn't show up today, man, give me a sign that this is just not for me, because I wanted to quit. And then, I'd get a ticket, and I was like, man, this is a sign I'm not supposed to be. You're going to find the signs that you're looking for. I'm so grateful that I found the right environment around the right people that kept encouraging me, challenging me, pushing me, loving on me, building me up. You got to find the right environment. Einstein has this great quote that says, most people aren't successful because the environment they're in is not conducive to success. I found the right environment around the right people. That's extremely important. That environment was my gas station, and it kept me going. And I would be like, man, I don't know if I could do this. And then I go to training and I leave fired up like, man, I'm going to do this. That may be conventions for you. That may be books. That may be certain lunches that you do, certain relationships that you have, certain conversations with mentors. But don't give up along the way. I wanted to quit thousands of times. And I'm just grateful that I didn't. So don't give up. Today we do $40 million a year. What if I would have quit when we were doing $4,000? We had a hard time doing $4,000 in a month. So anyways, don't give up too soon. Most people overestimate what they can do in the short term, and they underestimate what they can do in the long term. Let me give you the last one, point number 6. Don't let discouragement kill your dream. You can say, George, that kind of ties into not giving up. Yes, but what makes you give up? Discouragement. Don't let discouragement kill your dream. This gentleman told me this story when I was new to the business. He says the devil's having a going out of business sale, and this guy goes down to buy a souvenir that could be a collectible in the future. And he's looking at all these torture machines, and finally he sees this little wedge, like what you would put in a door to stop the door from closing. And he says, why is this so expensive? And he says, because most people, they ruin their own lives. They make horrible decisions. They don't take enough action. They don't get better. They screw up. They're not good people. They make all these mistakes. They don't want to get better. They're not looking for clarity. They're not trying to improve. He says, but that's how I get the good people. That little wedge, that's how I get the good people. He says, that's a wedge of discouragement. He says, the moment I can get a person to be discouraged, then I can get them to start doubting. And then when they doubt, I can get them to dwell on all their problems. Then they feel hopeless. Then I get them. And I want to share that story with you because a lot of you guys that are going to be in sales, you may feel at times, this isn't going to work. I can't just see it happening. There's no way. I just can't see myself. I've never done this before. I'm not good at this. I suck at this. This isn't for me. I don't like this. It's just not my personality. This is not what God... You're going to go through all these things that you're going to be thinking. At some point, you feel like you're crazy. And you got to go back to, man, what's my dream? I want to do this. What are my options, right? What's my best option to get there? And then what's that going to take? It's going to take a whole lot of this. It's going to take a whole lot of this process here, building a business. It doesn't matter what business you're in, there's a process to building that business, and all of them are challenging. So make sure you pick the one that has the best lifestyle associated with it, the best upside associated with it. That's why I chose the insurance, the residuals, and all that part. You got to pick what's right for you. But I'm so grateful that I didn't give up along the way and allow discouragement to kill my dream. I hope this video helps you keep going and get to the next level. Take care, guys.